the game we've been waiting for. Tomorrow, the Lionesses face the Matildas. It's the Women's World Cup semi-final. Australian newspapers have been taking swipes at England. Look at this front page of Monday's Australian Daily Telegraph, reading, "Now for the Poms." The sporting rivalry between England and Australia does, of course, run deep. This summer's battle for the men's Ashes, it was marred by those accusations of unsportsmanlike conduct, controversial stumpings. Even I sort of began to follow cricket, and I never do. And the change of ball on the fourth afternoon of the final rest. You can tell, final test, you can tell that was scripted, not from my head, because I don't know anything about cricket, but I did follow Piers' outrage on it. Piers was targeted by the Aussie newspapers for the outrage, accused of being a crybaby. So who will come out on top tomorrow? How will they deal with all this rivalry and tension? Is it all just silly nonsense? I'm joined from Sydney by the Australian and Aston Villa footballer Emily Gielnik and by the former English Lioness Leanne Sanderson. Ladies, thank you ever so much for making time on this big eve ahead of this big event. Emily, I'll come to you first, given that you're the host or the co-host this year in Australia, and I hear that the atmosphere down there has been absolutely stunning. How much pressure are the Australian side going to be under then to perform?
Yeah, look, it's always massive pressure when you're at a World Cup, let alone a home World Cup. I think this year for us, the magnitude of this event has been bigger than we ever expected. So, yeah, there is a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, you'd much rather in your backyard than in England. So, you know, we'll take that pressure with open arms.
Okay, Leanne, coming to you. I mean, not at all biased in this, but I am, of course, English, and I do love the Lionesses. But dealing with that pressure then, having that home side in Australia really cheering the Matildas on, how are the Lionesses going to deal with that?
I think, you know, we've shown how impactful the fans can be in last Euros summer. You know, when we won the Euros, I think it was amazing. And I think having that home field advantage really does help. But I think these Lionesses are ready. I think the Matildas have had a really good tournament so far. And I think having the fans on their side will certainly help. We saw England in the last game against Colombia. Most of the fans inside the stadium were Colombian, and it was very hostile. And I think the Lionesses now have learned to be resilient, and they've become a bit of a mentality beast. But one thing I will say is the only team that have beaten us under Serena Wiegman have been Australia. So, you know, having that in their back pocket might help. But I think it's been a fantastic tournament so far. And Australia have really these players in Australia have really put themselves on the map, because similar to how the Lionesses were last summer, no one was really looking up. Nobody was really respecting the sport. And now everybody's looking up, and now everybody's respecting, and it's great to see.